Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I'm Nika and I make book related videos, and today I am going to be talking about all the books I read in the month of April. So I have quite a few books to talk about, so let's begin. So I have my reading journal here. I read a total of 10 books in April, which I think is a good number. Of those 10 books, it added up. The total page count came up to 3,819 books, 19 pages. I wish it were that many books. And out of all of these books, 7 of them were physical books and 3 were ebooks. I did not listen to any audiobooks this month. Then when it comes to genre, I read 3 mystery books, 2 translated works, 1 sapphic, which is also a mystery book, 1 sapphic book, 2 romances, 1 poetry, and 2 fantasy. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive right in. The first 2 books that I want to talk about are the translated books actually. Alright. So first up, we have Beneath the Simolu Tree by Sarmista Pritam. Now this was originally written in Assamese and it has been translated from the Assamese into English by Ranjita Biswas. And this was a review copy that was sent to me by Simon & Schuster. Many thanks. In this book, basically, we follow this girl, Paridhi. She stays in a rural village of Assam. So, I would say this is a very character-driven book because there isn't a lot of action that happens. So, there's not a lot of plot. It's mostly about her and what she goes through. So, we see a lot of her mental goings-on, you could say. As such, I think it gives us a very limited view of that personality and her experiences with external things around her, whether it is a society specific to the Assamese culture, which also we see, whether it's her relationship with her beau, with the other people, which I think is universal and not just limited to the Assamese people. All of that, it had a wide variety, and I think it was also really great in putting forth the actual Assamese culture, the zest. I think it did that very well. However, because it focused so much on Paridhi and her decisions, her life, that was something that did not click well with me. That said, objectively speaking, this was a very interesting book. It's very literary fiction, slice of life vibes. So keep that in mind. From the subjective viewpoint, I read it perhaps at the wrong time, so I could not love it as much as I would have probably at some other time. But since this is a book review, I want to do it objectively, and objectively speaking, this is a very nice slow-paced slice of life novel that I would recommend you to read. Otherwise, I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. Then the other translated book that I read is also from Assam, and this is The Divine Sword by Rita Chaudhary. Now this is originally called Deolangkhui in Assamese, again written by Rita Chaudhary, and this translation from the Assamese to the English has been done by Rita Borbora. Yeah, Rita Borbora. Now this was a review copy that was sent to me by Pan Macmillan, and I'm very thankful to them because this turned out to be my first 5-star review of the whole year. So I was very touched by it because you know, I have been looking for the 5-star read for a long time. I mean, 4 months in and I still hadn't found it, so it was really sad, but I'm really happy that this book came along and changed all of that for me. So this is a historical novel set in Assam. It focuses on a few characters, and as well as gives us a broader view of the different kingdoms that flourish in Assam at the time, the different neighboring kingdoms, the fights that they have, the petty quarrels and sometimes serious quarrels. At the end of the day, these characters as humans and not just as kings and queens. So all of that, I think it's done really well. And the best thing is that I think it was able to portray that within the Assamese society also, because this is set in Assam, so all of these people are Assamese. Within the Assamese society also, there are tribes which have their own different cultures, different rituals, different languages and dialects, which I think was portrayed so well in this book. And this is a book that actually compelled me to dive and delve deeper into Assam history, specifically not just the Assamese history of literature, but Assam history in general. I got 2 new books for that. So yeah, this book was a it's very dear to my heart, and I'm definitely going to read this again sometime later, not immediately, because it was also quite emotional. I did cry when I read this book. So yeah, overall it was a really great book, and I would definitely recommend it. Again, like I said, it was a 5 out of 5 stars for me. Then moving on, let's talk about the poetry book that I read, and this is Tomorrow Someone Will Arrest You by Meena Kandasamy. Now this book, I have to say, it is my first poetry book by Meena Kandasamy, and I have to say that I am very happy with my experience of it. These poems are not just political, but they are political mixed with a personal, so I think it's done really well. I mean, look, let me read a few lines which will actually give you an obvious example of what I just said, personal mixed with the political. His first teenage arrest was at an anti-racism demonstration. Our first kiss at Notting Hill Carnival. A genuine expression of international solidarity, he explained to his comrades, helpless, encouraging onlookers. So yeah, this was a very beautiful collection, and the imagery also that the author comes up with. For instance, there's this bit that I underlined here. Skin sun-kissed as cinnamon stick, long hair that anchors storms, a mouth filled with the coarsest curses on land. Gossip says it was a spice in her meals. It may well have been the sex. So it's really interesting, and it delves a lot into all of that societal taboos, societal ills, bad stuff that goes on that we turn and not judge and all of that. So I think this was really beautiful. It's very short. Again, this was a review copy that was sent to me by Juggernaut. Really thankful to them for this. And I think I'm definitely going to pick up more Kandasamy, Meena Kandasamy works very soon. I think I have When I Hit You in my TBR card, but I still haven't picked it up. So yeah, hopefully I'll pick it up soon, because this book has given me a taste of writing, and it has made me realize that this is only the first and not the last of her works that I will explore. I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars. Then let's get into the kind of mystery books that I have. The first one I have here is Anna O by Matthew Blake. This was a review copy that was sent to me by HarperCollins India, and many thanks to them for that. I have, as you can see, dog marked many pages because I did not have my page flags with me at the moment, and I just wanted to mark these pages. So basically the story is about this girl who is an international case, you know, because what happened is that this girl might have killed her friends. Their bodies were found near her by the police later on, but she has been asleep since. So the people think that maybe she might have killed them, and then she has fallen asleep. And it has been what, 10-13 years, I forgot how many years, but it has been many years since she has gone asleep. It's like she's in a deep sleep, like in a coma. So that's really interesting. That was the premise that really drew me in. However, sadly, this book really did not do it for me. It was a 3 out of 5 stars, and I think that was very unfortunate, because I went in with a lot of expectations. In that, it did kind of give me the Silent Patient vibes by Alex Michaelides, I think, when I first read it years ago. But overall, sadly, it was not that special considering the amount of hopes I had for it. So yeah, sad 3 stars. Talking about mystery, I have another book which is mystery plus a lot of family drama, and this is The Skeleton Key by Erin Kelly. Now basically in this book we follow this girl who is part of a family where one of the elders had created this amazing mystery kind of book. Was it book? Yeah, it was a mystery book wherein there are real clues to real treasure. So it's been a really long time since that book was first published, but even now, even in the current timing, people are fans of it. So that is where the story is set, and now that I think they are at like the 10-year anniversary or the 25-year anniversary, something like that. Something like that is some number of anniversaries, I'm not sure. And now it is finally the time to reveal the location of the missing final treasure. So that is the premise of this book. Now, listening to that or reading that premise, I thought that this was going to be purely a mystery novel. However, sadly, the reason because of which I gave this 3 stars and not the expected 4 or 5 star was because this was more family drama than actual mystery. It dealt a lot with family drama, and I think if you go into this book from that perspective, you're definitely going to enjoy it. But I was expecting romance and I got family drama, so that was a bit sad for me, and the reason why I rated it 3 stars. Perhaps, like I just mentioned, if I went in knowing this was a family drama, I might have enjoyed it because it has a lot of nuance to the characters, different layers to them, and the ways in which everybody is hiding a secret, everybody is kind of, let's say, happy with someone or jealous of someone or hates someone else. Everybody has these secrets that are terrible and dark and so good. So from that point of view, it was really interesting, but like I just mentioned, definitely not the mystery I was looking for at that moment, and that is why I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. So the last mystery that I have with me, which is also kind of a sapphic novel, is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danford. This is a huge book, and this was also in my 24 books for 2024 list, I think. Was it 24 or the 12 books by 12 friends? Let me check. Yeah, it was in the 24 books for 2024 list, and I'm really happy that I finally got to it. So what is the premise? The basic premise is that there are a few female actors who are now going to recreate some real events that happened at the bookhaul school for girls years and years ago, wherein 2 girls were savagely stung by yellow jacket, which are some sort of wasps, and they died basically. And then there is the whole curse of the book that was with them, that was found with them when they died, when the dead bodies were found, everything. This book has a lot of not a lot, but quite a few body horror scenes, which kind of made me cringe, especially because I'm very icky with wasps and all sorts of creepy crawlies, so I was a bit icky with that. But other than that, this was again another kind of mystery, but not really, because everything is told from the beginning more or less. So there are 2 timelines. Firstly, the current timelines wherein we have the actors and them getting ready to film this movie, and secondly we have the other timeline, that is the timeline of the period when the actual deaths happened. And so it's very interesting to see it shifting in both ways, and especially because we get to know what actually happened versus what these people who are now filming the movie think happened. So we have these 2 timelines, but both kind of dealing with the same story. So dealing with different versions of it was also done really well. This is very sapphic. There are a lot of romances, but I felt like it kind of became unrealistic in the fact that there are so many female lesbian relationships. But maybe the author really maybe tried to do only that, and like one of the characters says that this whole set while they are filming, it's like it's planet lady love. So apart from that, I also kind of had an ick with the characters. Some of them, like Merit, I think, is very unlikable, and so I didn't really relate or empathize. Let's not say relate, let's say empathize. I did not empathize or connect a lot with some of the characters, most of the characters, sadly. So that is why, again, this was another unfortunate 3 out of 5 star, which is really sad because I was expecting to rate it a lot more than that, but really sad. Again, this also has illustrations, and they are done by Sarah Lotman. Let me see if I can find one for you. We have this. Then another one is this. So there are many of these illustrations throughout, and sometimes they are very small and not very specific, like this one right here at the end of the page in the corner. So yeah, those were all my feelings for this book. But whatever the case be, however many stars I rated it, I'm happy that I got to it, especially because it was in that 24 books for 2024 list of mine. So that's that. Then I read 2 romance books, but I'm not going to delve much into either of them because they weren't all that great, and I'm just going to mention the names. The first one I read was Vow of Deception by Rena Kent, and I rated it 3 stars. Then I also read Huge Deal by Lauren Lane, which I also rated, which I rated 4 out of 5 stars. This was much better than Vow of Deception. And I have read Lauren Lane before, and I've really liked her works, I think. So I was only very happy to pick it up. Let's talk about the last 2 fantasy books that I have with me. The first one is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Now, this was a review copy that was sent to me by Pan Macmillan, and I'm really happy that they did, because overall I really ended up having a fun time with it. Now, this is a romantasy basically, and we follow this girl called what's the name? Oriah. Oriah is a human daughter. She was adopted by the vampire king, and now she has always grown up under him. But what happens is, since she's human, she needs to get some powers and become physically powerful as the vampires. And so the only way she can do that and redeem herself, not redeem herself, but make people realize that she's powerful, people as in the rest of the vampire society, is by participating in this very ruthless tournament, which is called the Kejari, and where she has to survive. So what happens is that she makes a mysterious, she makes an alliance with a mysterious guy, and the story starts from there basically. Now, I had quite a few criticisms with regards to this book, but that said, if you are looking for a romantasy book which you want to have or to read just for mindless fun, then this is definitely one that you can check out. But if you are a reader who is going to nitpick everything, or who's going to read deeply and not just for fun and mindless fun, then you might have some issues with this book, as I did. Now, I went in knowing that this is a romantasy, so I expected more on the romantasy. Not more, I expected quite a bit on the romance bit. So I got that. But again, while I was reading, I was like, some points are very unrealistic. So those were issues. Those were the things I had issues with. Like, this girl is frolicking amidst vampires, and apart from just one event, I think they never really tried to harm her, so it's kind of unrealistic. There are some loopholes, basically what I'm saying is. So yeah, that really didn't work for me, and I ended up rating it 3 out of 5 stars. I did expect to rate it more than that, but unfortunately it was just 3. Again, the second book is not yet out, I think, or is it? But I haven't read it yet, and I am actually planning on reading it to see how it goes, because this book definitely ended on a cliffhanger, on kind of an unexpected climax. Or was it expected? I mean, depends on you. I kind of expected it. So based on that ending, I definitely want to check out the second book and decide for myself what I think. And the second book is called The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. So that's that. And yeah, lastly, I read another book which is called Until the Stars Fall by Vanessa Rassanen, which is another romantasy read. And in this book, we follow a girl who she's a human, and she's in this fae world. And now, because of certain events that have happened, she is in a fake kind of relationship to be wedded, she is the fake fiance of this fae prince, and the story goes from there. She loves one brother but is kind of betrothed to the other. That's the synopsis of the book basically. However, this book does have a lot of political world building regarding certain events that are happening and why they're happening and all of that, which I think was pretty interesting. But again, at the end of the day, I think that this book and the other book that I just showed, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, were pretty much the same in my personal entertainment scale. That is, I rated both of them 3 out of 5 stars, which perhaps I expected a bit more, but it's just the way that it happened. I rated both of them 3 stars. I had issues with both, certain issues with one that I didn't find in the other, or vice versa, all of that. So yeah, I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. So guys, those were all the 10 books that I read in the month of April. I hope you had fun watching this video. I tried to make it a quick one because I understand that wrap-up videos are definitely not everyone's cup of tea, but I think that it's really nice to have a record of the books you read every month, even if the only words you can say about a book you read sums up to just 2 lines, 2 sentences. Even then, I feel like it's a good activity exercise for me to partake in, and I really like wrapping up the video for you, my monthly reading for you. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know how your reading went in April, and I'll definitely see you again. Until then, take care, and I love you all. Thanks for watching. Bye.